Well, hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I hope everybody is doing good, having a good day, and everybody is well, healthy, avoiding all the germs and all the things. um, Thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all. Today will probably be a shorter live than what we've been doing. I had to take a Benadryl a while ago and I keep yawning. I'm a little blah, but hey, I quit sneezing. So that's a good thing. But it's got me kind of yuck, kind of just blah. So if you hear me yawning, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. um, Before we get going, though, guys, make sure to hit the like button for me if you don't mind. If you haven't subscribed, we're only about 10 away from hitting 3,000. Yay, us. We have a lot going on, and we'll keep talking about Sebastian. That's our number one goal. So, anyways, I appreciate you all. I'm just kind of rattling, I know. Sorry. But I only got about an hour and a half sleep last night because I kept sneezing and I would wake up sneezing. So, I apologize. Anyways, but yeah, all the things y'all know the routine, all the things. Thank y'all for being here, though. Number one, most important, I appreciate y'all so much. I don't feel bad though. That's the thing. It's all allergy stuff. It's watery eyes and sneezing, blowing my nose. That's it. I don't feel bad. I'm not feverish or anything like that, but the only way to make it stop is to take some Benadryl. Well, then even just one Benadryl makes me drowsy. It doesn't knock me out, but it just makes me drowsy. So, between not sleeping good last night and then taking that while ago, I think it's just kind of impacted all of it for me. But my eyes are still watery, but not as bad as they were earlier. It was like my son walked by and he goes, "Are you crying?" I was like, "Nope, just watery eyes today." Thank you all for being here. Um, Let's see if I can get everybody named off. We got Brown Eyed Girls. Hi, hi, Marina girl. Lori. Lori's not going to be with us, but she will catch us on replay. So thank you, Lori, for popping in. Hi, Hope Floats. Maria, Mrs. the South. Hello, hello. Hi, Miss Kathy. Hi, Cheryl. How are you doing? Rhonda, how are you? And we have Teresa. Thank you for being here. Hey, TJ. We got Bridget. We got Jilly, Chit Chat, Show Poodles. Hello, hello, y'all. Rhonda, Peggy. Hi, Charlene and Dee Marie. Thank you for being here. Who else? We got Couponing. Hello. Canadian Cookie. Peggy. And did I miss anybody? I hope I didn't, but oh, there's Marley. Hello, Marley Goff. How you doing? Detroit Rock City. Oh no, you got it too, Detroit Rock City. Oh goodness. It's no fun. Hi, Remy Stuff. How are you? YouTuber Bonnie. Man, well, thank you all for being here. Everybody that's in the bushes listening, thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. I hope my dogs are not too distracting. My son's 3 dogs are up here, and my dog, and they're wrestling on the floor. So if they get to be in too much of a nuisance, y'all tell me and I'll make them leave. Hey, SRK, how you doing? All righty. So, y'all, the title today I put down here as Even the News Was Impressed with Seth Rogers. I found an interview looking through stuff. It was a news interview. Hi, Yelva. How are you? I think it was 1 month, and they did an update on Sebastian's case. Hi, Holly and MCAS. Hi, Mari. But I want y'all to listen to it because I want to make sure y'all hear it the way I'm hearing it. And there's a couple of things that are mentioned in it that just really kind of, I was like, okay, maybe that's what they were told or something. I don't know, but it was a very interesting interview for it to be just 1 month from the time Sebastian went missing. And they talk about the parents, they talk about the dogs, all the things. And I want to play it for y'all today. So we're going to start out with that. Hey. Okay, let me get it ready here. Hello to everybody coming in. Y'all come on in, come on in. Hey, y'all quit. They're bumping the end of my bed. It's starting to rattle. Oh, if it's not the kids, it's the dogs, y'all. Yes, everybody say happy birthday to our TJ. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday, TJ. All righty. Here we go. Let me get this going for you. Y'all listen to, the words that are said and how they talk
into some of the big stories that we've been covering. And this offers us an opportunity to really provide context and depth to some of the headlines that you've been seeing here on WSMV. I'm Amanda Hara. This is Michael Warwick, and he has been covering extensively the search for Sebastian Rogers, which is now in its 5th week.
Yeah, more than a month. He went missing February 26th. It's believed he wandered from his home, walked from his home, may have been barefoot. And here we are more than a month later, no sign of the 15-year-old with autism.
And Michael, I want to go back in time a little bit because you were one of the first reporters who we sent to cover this story. And you were kind of there during one of these original news briefings. And you asked a very important question of authorities about surveillance video.
This would have been day 3 or day 4 when the investigators came out and briefed us as to where we stood in the investigation. And I asked the deputy chief, you've asked for all this surveillance camera footage, all this doorbell camera footage from across Sumner County, from those specific neighborhoods where he lived. Have you seen anything? Has anybody brought you a photo, a doorbell camera image that shows you Sebastian. And he said that no, they haven't actually been able to put eyes on Sebastian since that night he went missing, which really stood out to me as a reporter, because we know everybody nowadays has doorbell cameras. It seems like there's so many of them across the county, surveillance camera footage. And if he was to have walked away from his home, you'd think that somebody would have picked up a trace of him. And that was not the case.
It really is mystifying, and you can kind of pick up on the fact that investigators feel frustrated with the lack of leads or the lack of movement, I guess you could say, in the investigation.
Exactly. It's something I sense talking with them. They are frustrated. They've covered 2,000 square miles in just a few days since he went missing in February. They've done another search this week. They're bringing in boats. They're bringing in ATVs and search dogs. They've got boots on the ground, walking through woods, checking ponds. And they have what they say is very few clues as to what happened to Sebastian. And it's something I sensed. They are frustrated. And it's tough for them. It's tough for the public.
And
We're
it's interesting
still
to kind of see,
frustrated.
they originally decided to scale back their search efforts, right? So they said, okay, we've got people on standby. We're going to respond if we get a lead. We've got boots on the ground that can go immediately, but we're scaling back the search efforts there at the scene.
Yeah.
So that kind of happened. There was a lull almost in activity. And then within, since yesterday and today, we've seen hundreds of people now back in the area around the home where he disappeared from, his family home. So it's just interesting to see, go from this lull, no new leads from what authorities are telling us, to all of a sudden, this recanvassing effort that's involving hundreds of experts out there.
Right. Some new people that are out there that hopefully can shine some light on some things that they may have missed. It's important to point out that in the few days after Sebastian went missing, in those original press conferences, they said that they were working under the belief that he wandered from his home, that he walked away, and that they were out searching for him, and it was just a matter of them finding him. That was the original belief.
Yeah.
Here we are several weeks later, and I think that has changed, because now the TBI and the investigators are saying everything is on the table. Every possibility is on the table. On the table. There's no evidence that points to foul play. There's no evidence that rules out foul play. So I think that that has kind of changed a little bit. That belief that he just walked away from his home, sure, that's a possibility, but it may not be exactly what they believe at this time.
Right.
I like the way he put that. There is no evidence that he walked away. There's no evidence that he didn't. There's no evidence of foul play. There's no evidence there wasn't foul play. And that is huge. And that's something that none of the other side of the street, none of the creators understand that. From the very beginning, they're talking, we're not going to say there's foul play. Everybody's cooperating. And when Craddock says, we don't know what we don't know, basically means, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was in there talking, y'all. Sorry. I was putting the dogs out of the room and I had muted, so y'all didn't hear me hollering at them. Anyways, let me start over. I like the way that this guy put it. There's no evidence of foul play, but there's also no evidence of there not being any foul play. So it's one of those where Craddock says, we don't know what we don't know. And that's the same thing that he's saying here, it's not saying that there is foul play or there's not foul play, because there's no evidence of either foul play or no foul play. I like the way he handled that wording because are there suspects or not suspects? There's no evidence for them to go either way at this point.
Right. So Holly Thompson had an exclusive interview with Sebastian's mother and stepfather, and they talked directly to that point and said, we don't even believe that he simply walked away based on his history. So take a listen to that.
He's not a runner. He's never run away before. I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
So the news person here, this news lady, she makes the comment that even the parents are starting to think that he didn't run away. So he's never been a runner. It's not something he does. But she don't know why he walked out the front door. I just want to know, how do you know that he walked out the front door? There is no evidence showing that front door opening at all. But yet Katie's going to put out the narrative that he walked out the front door. So my question is, he became a ninja. Did he become a ghost too, where he just walked like Casper the ghost, just goes through the door? Because, we know he became a ninja and just poof, gone. So how did he do the walking out the front door without opening the door? And folks, keep in mind, all the activity was in the backyard that night.
And so just kind of to clarify and give context to that, they're basically saying that this is not something that he would do normally. He wasn't the type of child that would just leave regularly. So that's why this is confusing to them. If he did indeed walk out the door.
There's only a certain number of things that really could have happened. Either he walked away willingly and it's just a matter of people finding him. He may have walked away willingly and somebody took him. Somebody may have done something to him. There's only a certain number of theories at this point that could explain where Sebastian could have gone. I know that
yes, Bridget,
people with autism, kids with autism, some experts have come to us and say that is something that they do. They wander. It's a reason that they check some of those bodies of water because they can be drawn to bodies of water. So it's like the word you used is mystifying, and I think that's the best word that we could use.
1 year later, well, actually, over a year later, the case of where is Sebastian Rogers is still mystifying. Because there's no evidence at all that Sebastian ever walked out of that house. It's still mystifying.
Earlier this week, it seemed like a little nugget was dropped by investigators that could potentially lead us somewhere of value. And they had mentioned during a news conference the other day that a pair of glasses had been found during the search for Sebastian. They have since come out and said the glasses that we found do not belong to Sebastian. This is off the table as a piece of evidence or a clue in the case, for that matter.
Which I find very funny, the glasses, because they happen to be rather close to Mr. and Miss Bowersock's home. And just a pair of glasses laying on the side of the road. Very strange.
And we have also heard from the parents who went on national television, the stepfather and mother, and they have actually left their home because the stepfather has a job in Memphis. So they've left their home there in Sumner County to be there in Memphis for work. And there was some criticism for that decision to kind of leave while the search is happening around their house.
Yeah, they had said in that interview with Nancy Grace that it was for the stepfather's work.
Can y'all not hear me when I talk? Am I muted still? If you can hear me, put a 1 in chat. Somebody. Okay, y'all can hear? Okay, good deal.
You know, she asked them why, and the mother had said that she wanted to be there with her husband for his work. They have since, according to investigators, cooperated fully with anything that the investigators have wanted. Anything the sheriff's office has asked of them, they said that they have done. So yes, they've received some criticism for leaving, but as far as from what investigators have told us, they've done everything that they've been asked to do.
They also face some criticism just from people on social media saying, why did it take you so long to say something publicly? And in the exclusive interview that they did with Holly Thompson, they said, please don't judge us. You have no idea what we've been going through. And they talked a little bit about this emotional roller coaster with her that they've been on.
How are you coping?
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless and hopeless and many other emotions all in one. And it's a
Okay, I'm going to point out something here. When she is asked, how are y'all feeling? Katie looks off across the room as if she's fixing to break down. I wonder what she's thinking at that moment. I wonder what is going through her mind. What is she recalling? Has reality actually hit her? I think so too, TJ.
It's a never-ending roller coaster. It doesn't stop. It won't stop until he walks through the door.
And just a few days ago, you spoke with Sebastian's biological father. So we just heard from his stepdad and his mother, but you actually did an interview with his
Seth Rogers.
dad. Yeah, and it was such a profound interview and so gut-wrenching. Walk us through how that interview came to be, and then we'll play a little bit of it.
Did you hear that, guys? Let's listen to that. Oh, crap. Hold on. I just skipped the whole video. Hang tight. Let me find it. Get back to it here. I want y'all to listen. They've been talking about Katie and Chris.
And into some of the big stories that we've been
I wish this would get out of my way here.
covering, and this offers us an opportunity to really.
Let me go about right here. Hang on. But while I'm trying to find it, I want y'all to listen to the difference of when they're talking about the mom and the stepfather. And as they transition over to talking about Seth, there's a whole different words that they use, the tone that they use. They were both very touched by Seth. It was very emotional. None of those words were spoken about Katie and Chris.
In the case, for that matter. And we have also heard from the parents who went on national television, the stepfather and mother, and they have actually left their home because the stepfather has a job in Memphis. So they've left their home there in Sumner County to be there in Memphis for work. And there was some criticism for that. Please don't judge us. You have no idea what we've been going through. And they talked a little bit about this emotional roller coaster with her that they've been on.
How are you
Okay,
coping?
we're going to start here.
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless and hope. Emotions all in one, and it's a never-ending roller coaster. It doesn't stop. It won't stop until he walks through the door.
And just a few days ago, you spoke with Sebastian's biological father. So we just heard from his stepdad and his mother, but you actually did an interview with his
Seth Rogers.
dad. Yeah, and it was such a profound interview and so gut-wrenching. Walk us through how that interview came to be, and then we'll play a little bit of it.
This actually came out, this was last Monday, and the United Cajun Navy had come in. They'd been searching for Riley Strain in downtown Nashville, and were here.
So
and
did y'all hear the difference?
After the resolution to Riley's case, they moved over to Sumner County and said, well, we'll help search for.
Gut-wrenching it was. How touching it was. And they're going to show Seth in his interview, and it is completely, it's as if they can tell 1 month in the interviews that have been done, there's a difference here with these news people, and the way they explain Seth's interviews was nowhere close to what they did for Katie and Chris.
At the place that they were sort of meeting in their command center, and they had asked Seth Rogers to join, and he more than willing to talk to us for the first time. Was the first time I had a chance to talk to him. He's been out searching himself, and was very moved by the attention this case has gotten, and you felt for him, and I know we have a piece of that interview.
Yeah, and what I appreciated about it was, the love with which he described his child. So take a listen.
Every day. I have to stop looking is to give up hope. And I'm just not into that. He is my heart. If you get to know him, you'll smile all the time. When you see him coming, you'll smile. It's the sun coming through the clouds.
I mean, just to hear him describe his son like that, goodness.
Is that not crazy? Is that not insane? How they talked about the criticism the parents got because they left the home. They talked about the interviews that they've done, played some clips. I do. Yes, she did. Narita, yes, she does mention the flashlight in there. Yes. But this is 1 month, folks. 1 month. There's an interview with Seth. And her words after it's over is she just loved how he described his child and the love he has for him. None of those words were ever mentioned when it came to, the other parents. Hello, Mr. Tony. I gave you a wrench so we know it's you. Because I had a Seth send me a message, same screen name and everything, but it was a scam thing where it was having me help, I don't know, animals overseas somewhere in another country. So I made sure that was you, and then we gave you a wrench. So I just wanted you to know.
it's just kind of gets your heart immediately. What is one thing that really stuck out with you? Because you've kind of been in the thick of it, Michael, boots on the ground reporter. You've been there among the search crews using all types of tools to try to find him. What's a moment or an exchange or something someone said that is really going to stick with you?
The attention that this case has gotten from the people who live in that area, who truly went out and were walking along rivers and in woods and checking their sheds as they were asked to do. We even got a chance to speak to some people who have autism or have children who have autism. And if you want to talk about people who have their eyes on this case, it's those folks who know what it's like to raise a child with autism, who know what it's like to have autism. And this case is one that they are thinking about all day, multiple times a day. And for them to get a resolution to this case would mean the world.
And I think it's something that just resonates with all parents, right? Like this is every parent's worst nightmare, and to see this unfolding is just so troublesome. Michael Warwick, thanks for sharing your perspective with us. We should mention TBI says they've gotten more than 300 tips. They're really asking people for a couple different things. Only share evidentiary information. So factual information not based in rumor if you're submitting a tip. They want to hear your tips, but they don't want it to be something that you heard on social media. And they're also asking people not to spread misinformation on social media. They say that can bog down their investigation. They got to spend time following up on leads that are typically dead ends. So those are the two big requests there. We are on top of the search that is happening today. We're going to bring you the very latest on air and in the WSMV4 news.
So there we go, folks. There we go. There is a news report. Oh, hold on. I tell you what, I'm about tired of StreamYard. There is a glitch in everything I'm trying to do today. It's driving me bonkers. But 1 month in, 1 month. And even the news people could talk and say words that made you understand that the father, Seth Rogers, is the one who is actually... Oh, Tony, thank you for that. That's my goal. That is my whole goal. I don't want to play games. I don't like drama. It's unreal. The hate is disgusting, and I don't want no part of it. But thank you for saying that. I appreciate you and everything you're doing for Seth, and he needs as many people to surround him and hold him up as possible. I feel his pain. I feel what he's going through. And it's just very obvious how much he loves his son. And even 1 month in, this news station, those news reporters that were talking had two different tones when it was talking about Katie and Chris. And then it starts talking about Seth and the love he had. Those words were never used with Katie and Chris. It is so obvious to so many people here on this platform. It's right in front of everybody. But there is a whole side of people that they don't hear those words. They don't care to hear those words. And I don't understand it. There was never any words used in that interview at 1 month. We're talking 4 weeks after Sebastian went missing, talking to or about the mother and the stepfather. There was no adjectives used, nothing to describe how they were, how they're feeling, how sad they were, nothing at all. Can you hear my dogs? They're downstairs, y'all. That's how loud they are. If you hear them, I'm sorry. But when it came to Seth and his interviews, Seth loves his child. He wants to keep his focus on Sebastian, and it is so obvious. It is so obvious. And I don't even understand how people can't see it. How people cannot think for themselves and listen to the words that are actually being said by non-YouTubers and see the difference in the way they talk about the mother and the stepfather and the father. When it's Katie and Chris talking, it's all about how they needed to get away from their home because of all the hate and the people, that were just driving by all the time, and the neighbors didn't like it, so they left. You've never heard Seth say anything about he had to leave town because people were driving by his house. You've never heard him say anything about how he felt this way or he doesn't like this way. You're hearing him say, this is about Sebastian and how can we find him? It's always with Seth. The main focus is Sebastian. But we have the mother and the stepfather, who the mother was the one who herself said was in the home with him that night and woke up in the morning in the home where he was gone. But yet it's about her feelings and how she feels. I heard words that she said in this new interview that they did that were saying the same kind of words Seth uses. And I'm telling you, folks, they spent, or she did, that 9 months of not speaking anywhere to anyone. She was studying all of the people that were critiquing her. And she tried to make adjustments. And it was as fake can be. And I'm so tired of having to have to listen to what they have to say, because they've had plenty of time to say what they wanted. They've said it. You can see their actions. You can see Katie staring off in the distance. She is about to break down in tears, but you never see tears. Chris, it's all about him and how they are feeling and what they're going through, and this and that and this and that about them. Oh, but in the new interview, it's all about Sebastian, the newest one, the latest one. It took them 1 year for all the things they had to say to be about Sebastian. They put out this fake story, this lie, this script, however you want to word it. But if you notice, most of it's about them. It's all about them. I don't know why he walked out that door. Those were Katie's words. But yet there was no video showing anywhere at any time the front door opening. So no, Katie, he didn't walk out that front door. He didn't. if you have a child run away, there's a reason for that. There's always a reason for a child to take off and run away. My son was 4, and he decided he didn't like me telling him he could not watch Scooby-Doo until his bedroom was picked up. So he got a little grocery sack. He put him a pair of underwear in there. He put him his ball glove, little baseball glove, and he put his little teddy bear in there. And he walked out and told me he was running away from home. At 4 years old, he's going to run away from home. And he packed a bag. Don't tell me that Sebastian, at 15 years old, would not have packed anything, took anything with him at all. Nothing. It's not like Sebastian couldn't think for himself, although that's what they led us to think. Sebastian is very intelligent. He is very intelligent. He would have packed him a bag. He would have took his phone. He would have put some daggum shoes on. And to go back just on a side note to my son, when he was 4 and he was running away, he put his little sack over the handlebars of his bicycle, got on his bicycle and rode down to his boundary line and turned around and came back to his other boundary line. And he did that about 4 times. And he walked in the house with his little bag and said, I think I'm going to clean my room now. He never left his boundaries. But Sebastian, guys, is a teenager. And teenagers are very hormonal, emotional at times. They get all worked up. They get really pissed off at you because you're trying to treat them a little older, but they think they should be even more grown up than what they are. So there's going to be issues. But his mother tells us there was nothing. Nothing at all. It was a good weekend. It was a good day. We heard all them things. But y'all, he ran away. He wouldn't have ran away if he was having that much fun that weekend. Yeah, Sebastian is a very thin young man. He's, tall and slender. And, I imagine he probably got cold at times. Yeah. But he's not going to put a coat on. He's going out the front door, but he's not going to even grab a pair of shoes and take off with them? No. Panda Bear's mom, thank you for being a member for 3 months. That is so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. She says, thank you, Lolly. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for that. I love you. But I don't understand the story that they've decided to put out. I don't get it. Like I said, my son was 4. I was really proud, Mom, because he put a pair of underwear in his runaway bag, as he called it. He took his softball glove and his little teddy bear because those were important to him. But hey, he put a pair of underwear in there. What more can a mama ask for, right? But Sebastian's mother's going to tell us he took nothing. He didn't grab his jacket. He didn't grab his phone. She's going to go to school and look for him, but his phone, his backpack, his shoes, and all the things were there at the house. Why would you even begin to think that this young man would be going to his school at 6 o'clock in the morning? The school's not even open at that time. Why would you think he would go to school in the clothes he slept in? No shoes, no jacket, no backpack, no phone, none of the things. So why would you assume he's going to go to the school? Guys, you can sit here and take their entire story from beginning to the end, the very first interview to the very last interview they've done, and it is so obvious this child did not run away. 4 months in, and you can hear the newscasters just oohing and ahhing over the emotions that they get from Seth's interview. They never said those words with Katie and Chris because none of what they say happened makes any sense. We keep talking about it. We keep repeating it. But they just keep putting it out there. And every time they do, there's something new to it. There is something that they put in there that's really hard to believe. And I've been criticized. They've used my son that I've lost as a way to target me for attacking a mother who's grieving. And folks, I'm here to tell you, no matter what Christopher Proudfoot has to say about you grieve to a point, but you got to keep moving and going and living. Well, the world never stops living. The world never stops happening. But when you do not have your child with you, even knowing where mine was, even knowing I could go to that cemetery and sit beside where my son is at, for me, my world stopped for several years. For several years. I couldn't hardly function. It was to the point to where even my memory was getting bad. It was to the point to where I had no desire to ever leave my house anymore. I had no desire whatsoever to change one thing in my son's room. But yet, this mother leaves her home just a short time after her son goes missing. This mother travels from one side of the United States to the other side of the United States. Not a worry in the world about what if he comes home and you're not there. They're living life because the world keeps on going. Thank you all for those sweet words. But folks, I'm telling you, you can see it in Seth You can see it in every word that he says. You feel it, but you don't get that from Katie and Chris. No matter how hard they try. I've said it before, Susan Smith, the mother who claims someone stole her car with her babies in it, her 2 little boys. She fake cried way more than what Katie Proudfoot has done. And I think when Katie cries, there is a reason for it. She has a reason. In my opinion, her tears are not grieving tears, but remembering tears. Every bit of the hard time she's going through right now is, in my opinion, because everything that happened that day and night, it doesn't leave you. And as traumatic as it was to find out and get that call that my child, my son, my 27-year-old son, he was a grown man, passed away. He was still my baby. And as horrible as all of that was, I can still remember every little detail up until just after I found out. I can tell you about every little thing there is to say. I can tell you about all kinds of things. Okay, TJ. Hang on, guys. We got something new. She found us something. But yeah, it is it's something that you will never forget. And that's why I say she looks off, her deep breaths, the hard swallows, in my opinion, is her recalling exactly what happened that night. Yeah, reserve glitching. Our children are always our babies. Always. I walked past my son the other day. He was sitting on the couch and he's like, "Mama." And I stopped and looked at him. I was like, "What?" And he said, "You didn't rub my head when you walked by." I was like, "What?" I do it without even realizing I'm doing it. But that one time I was heading to the bathroom and I did not reach over and rub his head as I walked by. They're still your babies. And you feel pain when they feel pain. You remember all the things about your child. You know your child. My son, my oldest one, when he was 4, when he come walking out with his little grocery bag with some stuff in it, I knew he was going to try to say he's running away. But I let him go because I also knew my son and knew he wasn't going past his boundary lines. We set boundaries and he could do his bike up and down, but he had turned around, come back. He knew his boundary lines, and he was my child that would not leave those boundary lines. Katie knows Sebastian. She knows him. And she knows that all the things They talked about to us, told us about how Sebastian was. All the negatives that they put out about Sebastian. They're talking about him not wanting to wear deodorant as if he's allergic to it. You know, all teenagers get, to that point, and you got to just remind them, hey, go get your deodorant and put it on. But most mothers would talk about his smile. Most mothers would talk about the fun times, the fun things he did. Most mothers would talk about how precious their child was to them. Like what Seth does when he talks about Sebastian. We just don't get it from his mother, the one person in the home that night with him when he disappeared. And I get so frustrated when our side of the street over here gets attacked and called names because we don't believe Katie's a grieving mother. And that's their words. I feel in my heart for any mother that grieves, even Katie. Although I think Katie's grieving has a lot more to it than just missing her son. And that's my opinion. But when we listen to Seth talk about his son, you feel the love. We learn something about Sebastian and how he was and what he did. How, he would act about this, or he didn't want to do this, clean the house or whatever. And Seth's like, you can make some money off of it. And he's perked up, oh, money. All kids like money. Oh, thank you, NeuroV. Thank you for that. That's sweet. Yes, TJ. TJ said, in my opinion, KK's grieving on what she has done. And I sadly have to agree with that. I'm trying to get this video so I can Fox 17 News. Let me see if I can find it real quick. We're going to play this new surveillance video that just got put out, if I can find it. But guys, if you hear people talking bad about Seth, and you ever question it, my opinion, my advice to you would be compare the mother's version, compare the father. It's such night and day. And yet they want us to believe that they're telling us the truth. And there's no way. Let me see. I'm not seeing it on here. Let me go over here to this right here. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to find it here. Let's see. Fox17.com. I got that. But I am not. Let's see. Let's go down here to one more other thing here. Oh, I just saw this on their news channel here. This Thursday night, I think it's Thursday or Friday night. I'll have to double check, go back and look at it. But it will be a blood moon outside. And then the next weekend will be a lunar eclipse. Huh. Let me see here. Okay, I'm not seeing that on here. I want to play it and see if we can't watch it. Let's see here if I can do it this way. I'm going to try to email it to myself so I can get it in here. Okay, let's do that. Hang tight, guys. I'm going to try to pull it up that way because it is surveillance from the night he went missing. And I do want to see it and see what we got. Let me see what y'all are saying here. Sorry. I'm sorry. I know, right, DJ? It's like nothing's going easy today. And I don't know what StreamYard's doing, but good golly, they are jacking everything up because it's it's real glitchy. And so it's like taking longer for it to load and all the things. So okay, we're going to play it pull it up in my email. I'll get it up and then I'll share the screen. Okay, guys, hang tight. We're going to watch this. If y'all haven't already, please hit that like button. Across the bottom of the screen is my Cash App, my Venmo. If you'd like to give your girl a tip or something, it would be greatly appreciated. And contribute to my Pepsi fund. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you like what we're doing here. And I think I found it, guys. Let it get loaded real good. Woohoo! Go us. We got it here. Let it load in. And we're going to play it. Okay. Y'all ready? Nope, not that one. That one. All right. Let's see what we got here. Sumner County, it says, new surveillance video has been made public in the near year-long search for Sebastian Rogers. And then Stephen Fisher, a private investigator working with Kate and Chris Proudfoot, Sebastian's biological mother and stepfather, said the video appears to show a figure walking on Kellen Lane. It's definitely a person, Fisher says. It looks like a thin person wearing dark clothing walking down south. Is this the one we've all seen? Let's see. It says person walking their dog had passed by. Oh, Lord. You know, the police did debunk this. Let's see what we can do here. He said it took 3 times watching the video before we found something. Y'all, seriously, this is a joke. I don't think this is new, guys. This is the same video we've seen. And to be honest with you, it looks like a ghost. We're out of here. We're not going to pay that no attention. I'm serious. When it comes to anything from them, I just don't trust it. I do not trust it. Yeah, it's what it looks like, TJ. Lord help us. So, yeah, I don't trust anything that's put out by anybody over there on that side. You know, we have now Jay for Justice is putting out pictures of Sebastian that the stepfather's given her to put out. That's great. We love to see them. But I still have that same question. He's given them to you to put out on social media so that his face can stay out there. That's what they've said. But yet, they're all of Sebastian when he was young. You know, you just want to holler out and say, Katie, where the hell is the pictures you took of him that night? That would help people. That will help people to see what he really looks like. What we need to be really looking for. Because when Sebastian was 8 or 9 years old, he doesn't look like what he looks like now. He's changed. He's matured. But when you put out these pictures of him when he's young, they're going to be out there looking for a young child. Angela, thank you so much for that. How sweet of you. Angela, that was so sweet. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Oh, that is so sweet. But yeah, they're going to keep putting these new pictures out there, which is, I like looking at them because you see Sebastian at different ages and stuff, but you don't see him as a 15-year-old boy. You know, we saw the video from Texas Roadhouse, and I was blown away at how grown up he was. It just blew my mind. I can't understand it. And why did it take you over a year to give pictures of Sebastian to be put out there? Obviously, you don't want him found, or you would be showing us pictures from that weekend. But, you know, that's how they play the game, guys. That's what they're doing. I just hope that if anyone comes into my channel from the other side, that you would really listen. Listen to those news reporters that are talking about the mom and the stepdad and the difference when they talk about the father. Because he has compassion for his son. He has love for his son. You feel it, you see it, you hear it. Where you're listening to the mother and the stepfather, you're trying to figure out what the heck. Because all the things they say do not make sense. And so when you have to put it on black and white paper, put it down black and white in front of you, look at it, go over the words. It's very obvious that Katie and Chris are not concerned with finding Sebastian. They want to put people in jail who participate in putting flyers and posters up and trying to search and look for him. They put more effort into that court proceedings than they did going out to search. And then they do the let's go search because it's been so many months, since we've done anything. And they go and they look in the same place that's already been searched several times. What is the purpose of that? It had already been cleared. Tisme, thank you for becoming a member. That is so sweet. Thank you. And let's play you a song. Let's welcome you to the South, where the lollipops are.
Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff down. Got enough to go around. So can I get it right and get down? Welcome to the South.
Welcome, Tisme. Thank you for that. But as I was saying, guys, it's so obvious. It's so very, very obvious. It's plain as day when you hear two different sides and the things they choose to talk about. Hey, Cher, no problem. Thank you for coming in. The things they choose to share, the things they decide to talk about, their stories, their timing of what everything happened that night. It's either all about them or it doesn't make any sense. And 1 year later, they're going to put out a video that the law enforcement has already debunked. And within 2 hours of that hitting the streets, law enforcement makes a statement saying that video has nothing to do with Sebastian. It's irrelevant. It's been debunked. It was already cleared within 72 hours after he went missing. But I guess the mom and stepdad wouldn't know that because I believe they were getting ready to pack up to go on their first vacation. I'm really surprised that Chris's buddies and his connections that he has didn't tell him that. But then again, maybe he didn't have as tight of a connection as what he thought he should have. I don't know, guys. It's getting to the point where it's very frustrating. We want to keep his name out there. We want to keep talking more than anything. I want Sebastian to be found. Sebastian deserves to be found. He deserves to live a life with his dad and not have to worry about sneaking to a teacher and telling a teacher what's going on at his home so that they can call CPS. So Cher, that's a very good one. Look here, guys. She says, so what if Chris snuck home and Katie didn't know because Chris was trying to catch Katie sneaking around? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. I honestly think that Chris was in that home when Katie and Sebastian came home. And I think Sebastian didn't like it and knew he wasn't supposed to be there. That's what I think. Cher, I agree with that. There was cameras all over that house. You know? Donald, she got him to say he was home. Talking about the Summerwells. Tonight, are we talking Summerwells again, or is it Sebastian? I forget which one we're talking tonight. Tonight, I'll be over with Cher on her channel. I will share that out in a post when I get off of here. And I'll be over there on panel with them. Yeah, they had cameras. Summerwells tonight, okay? And if y'all want to come over tonight and listen, we'll be doing a live about Summer because we need to keep her name out there as well. She needs to be found just as much as Sebastian. And unlike Sebastian's mother, I'm going to say she needs to be found just as much as Sebastian deserves to be found. Where his mother says, Sebastian and the other children are the other ones who deserve to be found, if not even more so. That doesn't make sense to me. Why are you going to sit there and say other children deserve to be found more than your child? But that puts us back in that category of a mother who really doesn't want her child found. That's what it's about, folks. All of it. And yet we can listen to Seth on his live, and there's not a dry eye in the house. No one in chat is just sitting there cussing up a storm at Seth. Well, let me rephrase that. There are those few that try to wreak havoc in chat. But those of us there for Sebastian, you always have tears. I sent a message to Justin on Seth's last live, and I said, he's broken. I see that look, and it's the same look I had for 2.5 years. I had that look, the puffy eyes. The tears wouldn't stop. I wouldn't even realize I had cried so much. I would not even realize when I was having tears running down my face. Didn't realize I was even crying. That's how much I cried. But Katie seems to cry on demand. But yet she never really cries. And I have seen pictures in videos that she's done where her eyes do look red almost. But I've never seen them so swollen from crying to the point to where they don't want to open. That's what I had tons and tons and tons of times. And I know there's not a time where you say you have to do this at this time, and this is how you grieve at this time, and this time is what you do, and this time is what you. There's nothing out there that tells you how to grieve. Don't get me wrong. There is nothing out there that you can sit down and read and find out what the grieving process is for you, because we all grieve differently. But I'm telling you, my story never, ever has changed. I can remember every tiny detail. It's been 5 years and I can tell you exactly what my son was wearing that night. I can tell you the look on his face the very last time I saw his face before I had to go see him in his casket. He had that big, huge smile. I can tell you all the things, little details. And it's always going to be the same because it's etched into my mind so that I never, ever, ever want to forget it. I want to have that. I want to just store that and lock it away until I need it so that I have it. Because I can't get no more of that. But Katie, we've heard multiple stories of the last few hours that she had with her son. Different stories. One time she talked on the phone till midnight. One time she talks on the phone and about 10:30 she fell asleep. One time she talks on the phone while she's doing her homework. You can't fall asleep while you're talking on the phone till midnight and doing your homework. Oh, thank you, Cher. I don't share my story for sympathy, guys. I don't. I've been accused of doing that, but that's not what it is. I share my story so that there's a comparison there. Not that I expect Katie to have my story. But guys, I'm telling you that memory, every person I've talked to that has lost a child has those memories etched in their brain forever. Forever. But yet Katie's story always changes. Oh no, Wendy. Wendy said, Lolly, Dane Paulson, the little 2-year-old boy that's been missing. He was found in the river. Oh, bless him. That is very sad. I was hoping that would not be the case. That is horrible. Please, guys, keep his family in your prayer, because that's a hard one. AMC, I was wondering I was like, what is she talking about up there? Oh. But guys, yeah, I was afraid he would be found, no longer with us, only because he's 2. He couldn't take care of himself too well out there. But that is very sad. It's heartbreaking. And I can't help but tear up, of course. Oh. I'd always heard that, that call that no mother ever wants to get in the middle of the night. I couldn't even answer my phone. I had my daughter over there because I had gotten a phone call earlier that said, hey, there's this bad, horrible wreck. They're trying to get the jaws of life. And it looks like his car. I called my daughter. I said, I think it's him. I think it's him. I said, I need you here. And she jumped up and she ran over there. I couldn't even answer that call. And so my daughter had to answer that call. And it was just a month and 10 days. It was 41 days before that he and I were standing on our front porch at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. And I told him, I feel like this is going to be a good year for both of us. And he's like, of course it is, Mama. It's going to be our year. We're going to have nothing but good this year. And I said, I really feel bad for the family across the street. Because just a couple of months prior, their son, their 13-year-old son, hung himself in the shower. And I was talking to my son about, I felt so bad for his family. And I said, don't you ever do anything like that to me. I said, I will not survive that. Little did I know, 1 month and 10 days later, I would get that call. And to say it destroyed me that's an underlined sentence there. I mean, that's nowhere close. My oldest son called my daughter and said, if we're not careful, we're fixing to lose Mama. He said, I'm afraid she's going to grieve herself to death. And he wasn't far off, because it got to the point where I didn't care if I woke up or not. And I couldn't function. And I stop and I think to myself, what if he would have just ran away? What if I just couldn't find him? And what if I couldn't figure out where he went? Would I still grieve that? Would I still hold on to hope? Would I still grieve and hope and all the things at the same time? And you, until I was forced to know what it was like to live without just one of my kids. I have 3. But to take one out of that equation about destroyed me. I would have never, ever thought about living one day of my life without all 3 of my kids being in my life, being part of my life, seeing them, hugging them, talking to them, laughing with them. We would sit down to eat, and it took forever for dinner because my 3 kids would get the giggles. They would talk about stuff they did, and then I would surprise them when I told them things that I knew they did that they thought I didn't. And to think of not having all 3, just one of my, it about destroyed me. And here's this woman has not seen her son in over a year, but yet she goes on vacations. She puts out pictures of her son when he was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old for people to see his face. She's not going to put out the picture she took the hours before he went missing. It doesn't make sense, folks. That's what I'm trying to get across. It's not that I expect her story to be like my story, but you would expect some of that to happen when you lose a child that you love. Oh, Tracy, I hardly left my house in 2.5 years. I hardly did. I would go to my daughter's house. I would come over to my son's house. And that was very, very rare. I would order my groceries through Walmart and go pick them up because I didn't want to get out of my car. I didn't want to see people. I couldn't go to Walmart. I couldn't even go to our local grocery store. Because if somebody was to walk up to me and say, I'm so sorry, I knew I would lose it. I knew that I would fall apart in the grocery store. I did that at the gas station one day when I was getting gas and somebody got out to get gas and saw me and came over and hugged my neck. And oh, I loved him so much. He was so sweet. And he was just, and on and on and on. And I was like, thank you. I got to go. I just lost it. I couldn't function. I was terrified to go into public and somebody tell me how sorry they were for me. I just couldn't function. And here's a mother, and it's been a year and almost a month. She's been from one side of the United States to the other side of the United States, top and bottom and all over. She left her home that her child is out there somewhere and could possibly walk in the door and her not be there. It doesn't make sense. If she had no idea where he was, folks, I'm telling you, we would see a whole different person. We would see a mother who's grieving exactly like his father is. But we don't see that. Yes, Detroit Rock City. That's about how our dinners were. I mean, it was just fun. Everybody came to my house on Sundays. We swam in the summertime and cooked out and all the things. And in the wintertime, we just sat at the dinner table. Yeah. Losing Austin has changed all of us. And those dinners are few and far between. Yes, sped teacher, Katie holds the key to Sebastian's disappearance. That right there is huge. She was in the house with him. And a mother that gets up at 6 o'clock, walks past the kitchen and goes into her son's bedroom. He's not there. She goes in to see if he's making him breakfast. The same kitchen she passed to go to his room. And then looks her whole entire house over, inside and out, in 1 minute, she said. And that made a total of 3 minutes before she's on the phone with her husband, driving like a bat out of hell, leaving the neighborhood. Oh, thank you, Detroit Rock City. Yeah, Donna, it's hard when you lose someone that you love. Her story doesn't make sense. She tells this story, it doesn't make sense. The next time we hear it, okay, we're really confused because it's not the same story she told last time. She's added things in and taken stuff out. But yet his father's over here telling us all the same thing. I don't want to talk about all this crap. This is about Sebastian. This is about finding my son. I want to know where he is. I want to find him. I want to talk about him and what we can do to find him. Folks, that's a grieving parent. And we have no plea from his mother. And it doesn't make sense to me why some people want to talk bad about us because we don't support a mother that is supposedly grieving. Every time I hear it, I put in chat, I'm sorry, I'm too busy supporting the father who is really grieving. And I don't know why anyone wants to stand up and say anything negative about Seth. And yet they turn around and believe that multiple stories that are all different. Right, AMC? But, well, guys, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for hearing the, excuse me, the news people on here as they're talking and as they're trying over into the father in his story. You hear their compassion. You hear their feelings of sadness for this father that's grieving. It's very touching. But yet we didn't hear those words about what Katie and Chris had to say. Even the news people could tell the difference. Oh, thank you so much. Y'all are so sweet. I really appreciate being here. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to go live. That is my plan. And if I don't or whatever, I'll put a post out saying I'm not going to be able to make it. There's a lot happening tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff going on. You know, we got stuff going at church and everything, and I was asked to help. So depending on how much I can get done early in the day to help them be ready for tomorrow night. But I'll let you know for sure. And guys, we're only 6 subscribers away from 3,000. I am so excited. Thank y'all so much. You guys make such a difference. I just appreciate y'all. I really do. Y'all are here. You listen. You participate in chat. Y'all don't cuss each other out. Y'all don't say bad things about everybody. And it's just so enjoyable. So thank y'all for helping me to make my channel exactly what I wanted it to be. TJ, girl, you gotta quit. It's TJ's birthday and she gifted 5 memberships. How sweet. Thank you, birthday girl. Wait, what? TJ, you gifted 5 more? Is that right? 1 more. Okay. I was like, did I see this twice? What am I doing here? Thank you, TJ. If you got a membership from TJ, please make sure to tell her thank you. That is so sweet of her. And guys, welcome, welcome to the lollipops. I so appreciate y'all. So I will let y'all know if I'm going to be going live tomorrow or not. That's my plan. But if it works out to where I can't, I will let y'all know. But then I'll be definitely live the next day. And once I get to feeling better and quit sneezing and blowing my nose so much, I'll go live probably in the evening, late evening. And I would like to go over the West Memphis 3 and just listen to this series that's been put out. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate y'all. I really love you all. And I am so grateful y'all are part of our family over here. But until I come on next and see y'all again, love and hugs to everybody. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.